Something huge is stirring at Newcastle United this week. The club's top brass have been holding crucial meetings. Transfer talk is heating up again, and one of Eddie Howe's key men could be heading for a major new deal after months of speculation. Meanwhile, another star is suddenly being valued at a figure that's shocked even the biggest names in European football. Behind the scenes, there's also movement on the future of St. James Park, with whispers of expansion plans finally being pushed forward, while one young striker's fate for January has now been sealed. It's all happening on Tyneside, and we've got every detail covered for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for every update from the black and white world of Newcastle United. Sven Botman has again become the center of attention at Newcastle United as the club weigh up a new contract for the Dutch defender. After 2 seasons disrupted by injuries, he is back to his assured best, partnering Malik Thiaw and restoring calm to the back line. Liverpool and Chelsea have been watching closely, aware he earns about £90,000 a week and that his deal runs until 2027. Even so, he feels settled on Tyneside, trusts Eddie Howe, and believes the project is moving the right way. Supporters see his return as a turning point for Newcastle's ambitions. Talks are now being prepared, with patience and care on both sides. Negotiations will focus on recognition, role, performance, and long-term security. Liverpool manager Arne Slot is reported to admire Botman's composure and left-footed balance, especially after missing out on Mark Guehi in the summer. With their defense evolving, they want a calm organizer who reads danger early and passes accurately under pressure. Chelsea are long-time admirers too, remembering him from his Lille breakthrough and tracking his recovery closely this season. Yet sources close to the player continue to brief that he is content where he is, focused on playing weekly and improving steadily. Newcastle, however, hold crucial leverage. The contract to 2027, no release clause mentioned here, and growing confidence in their plan. Any change would be on their terms, not rushed, not reactive, and always aligned with Howe's vision. Patience. Ross Wilson has now taken his place at the negotiating table, and the early view is that a raise would reflect Botman's status. At roughly £90,000 per week, he sits below teammates Bruno Guimaraes, Joelinton and Anthony Gordon, who are understood to earn nearer £150,000. Matching that bracket may not be necessary, but narrowing the gap could send a strong message about value, leadership and faith. Wilson is expected to proceed methodically, weighing football continuity against financial discipline and prevailing market rates. Crucially, both club and player appear relaxed, calm, and aligned on the direction. No one is briefing drama. Instead, they prefer quiet progress, measured steps, and open dialogue that respects timing, performance, recovery, and squad balance across competitions. Missing the Netherlands World Cup squad under Ronald Koeman stung, but it also sharpened Botman's focus. Since returning from setbacks, his positioning, anticipation, and timing in duels have looked surer each week. Alongside Malik Thiaw, he has restored aerial control at set pieces, while starting attacks with tidy passes into midfield. Eddie Howe values that blend of strength and serenity, which lets fullbacks push higher and wide players press bravely. Rivals may spot openings on paper, yet repeated 90-minute displays tell a true story about resilience and rhythm. Confidence returns when minutes stack up, and with rhythm comes leadership, communication, and cleaner decision-making in the most frantic moments that define Premier League matches at the sharp end. Newcastle notice. Koeman. The wage discussion, naturally, draws attention, but Botman's representatives are said to prioritize the right sporting pathway. They want assurances about role, medical support, and continuity around his centre-back partnership that has steadied results. Paying fairly matters, yet the football plan matters more, especially when a player has battled back from injuries and rebuilt form carefully. Newcastle are prepared to recognize that commitment, with Howe emphasizing that reliability and unity underpin everything achieved recently. The club believe a sensible renewal would reward performance but keep room for future incentives linked to appearances, clean sheets, and team milestones. Such structures balance ambition with prudence, allowing Botman to feel valued now while keeping scope for bonuses tied to appearances, clean sheets, and speculation will grow as January approaches, yet Newcastle's stance is simple. They are under no pressure and do not welcome bids. With the contract secure until 2027, the club can time negotiations to suit squad stability and fixture demands. Sources in the Netherlands recently suggested nothing is happening yet regarding talks, but insiders expect that to change as Ross Wilson settles fully into his role. For supporters, the main takeaway is continuity. Botman stays, builds rhythm, and anchors a defense rediscovering its identity. That calm message should help drown out rival interest, keeping focus on results, training, and sensible planning rather than headline-chasing chatter that flares whenever big clubs sniff around proven performers in peak years. Reassurance matters. Here, on the pitch, the difference is obvious. With Botman fit, the back four looks taller, calmer, and more connected, which lifts the entire side. Fullbacks advance with confidence, midfielders receive cleaner passes, and the press triggers earlier without fear of space behind. When danger does arrive, he steps across firmly, wins first contact, and guides teammates into smart covering positions. That simplicity saves energy, prevents panic, and allows Newcastle to manage long spells without conceding. It is the kind of invisible work coaches love, because it makes everything else look smoother, from counterattacks to set-piece organization and time management late in difficult games that previously slipped away in frustrating fashion. Confidence accumulates fast. Clean sheets bring belief and momentum together. Comparisons to famous defenders can be lazy, yet the style notes feel familiar. Calm body shape, strong core, and a reliable first pass. That does not mean risk-free. It means choosing the right risk at the right time, avoiding dives, and recovering quickly when pressed. Analysts point to his habit of opening passing lanes with small movements, of delaying a striker until cover arrives, and then intercepting without fuss. Little details matter over 9 months, especially when momentum can swing in a few minutes. Those habits have reappeared since his return, which explains the renewed attention from outside and the confidence inside the dressing room that a sensible extension would secure a cornerstone for seasons to come on Tyneside. Patience. Nick Woltermade's rise at Newcastle United has been nothing short of astonishing. When he first arrived from Stuttgart in a £65 million deal, many in Germany called the club reckless. Figures such as Karl-Heinz Rummenigge and Uli Hoeneß ridiculed the transfer, saying it looked more like monopoly than football. Yet, a few months later, those same critics are watching a player who has transformed Newcastle's attack and silenced every doubter with consistent, intelligent performances. He has scored 6 goals in 11 matches under Eddie Howe, combining power, awareness, and delicate touches that make him unpredictable. The confidence with which he has adapted to the Premier League has been remarkable and unexpected even by optimistic supporters. Lothar Matthaus, the Bayern Munich and World Cup legend, recently said on his Bayern Insider podcast that Woltermade is now worth at least £100 million. That declaration shook the German media and made headlines across Europe, forcing many to rethink their early judgments. Matthaus explained that the valuation reflects form, potential, and the proven ability to perform under pressure. He even praised Woltermade's first goal for the German national team, a precise header against Northern Ireland that demonstrated his composure. For Newcastle fans, such words from a respected figure like Matthaus confirm what they already see: a young striker maturing rapidly in the Premier League. The story is no longer about the fee paid but about value earned on the pitch week after week. Eddie Howe has handled the transition brilliantly, protecting the player from external noise and giving him the freedom to find rhythm. Those early weeks were tricky, adjusting to a faster tempo, tighter marking, and more physical duels. But Woltermade responded through determination rather than frustration. His aerial ability, long considered a question mark, has become one of his strongest weapons. He times his leaps perfectly, attacks crosses decisively, and forces defenders into uncomfortable positions. Inside St. James Park, chants of his name echo whenever he bullies centre-halves or crafts a clever pass from deep. Confidence spreads quickly in football, and Howe knows he now has a striker capable of leading the line with both strength and subtlety. The reaction from Germany has been fascinating. Where once the Bayern hierarchy mocked the deal, many pundits are now admitting they misjudged Newcastle's scouting. Some even suggest that Bayern themselves could end up chasing Woltermade if his form continues. Yet, sources close to the player insist he is settled and has no intention of leaving England soon. He values Howe's trust, the team's camaraderie, and the belief shown by supporters who embraced him instantly despite the price tag. For a 23-year-old, that sense of belonging matters enormously. Rather than being daunted by expectations, he seems motivated by them, using every goal as a reminder that risk can lead to reward when patience and planning align. Matt House's £100 million figure might sound sensational, but the reasoning behind it is logical. The modern market rewards youth, output, and adaptability, three areas where Woltemade excels. His goals have come in crucial moments, often breaking deadlocks or rescuing points. Beyond statistics, his work ethic is elite, pressing defenders, tracking back, and linking midfield to attack with intelligent movement. Newcastle staff measure those contributions carefully, aware that goals alone never tell the full story. Howe frequently highlights his selfless running and commitment to defensive structure, noting how much space he creates for wingers and midfield runners. That collective awareness turns a talented forward into a system player, invaluable in a competitive league. When Newcastle sold Alexander Isak to Liverpool, many feared the attack would lose spark. Replacing him with Woltemade looked risky, even reckless, given the Swede's proven record. Yet the early evidence suggests Newcastle may have struck gold again. Woltemade's style differs, less explosive, more methodical, but the end product is equally dangerous. His calm finishing and sharp instincts inside the box remind some fans of classic number 9s from earlier eras. Each match adds another layer to his growing reputation, and his composure in tight spaces shows maturity beyond his years. The price might have seemed excessive at first, but with every performance, it now looks more like a bargain than a gamble, viewed through steady, improving form. His connection with Eddie Howe deserves special mention. Howe's approach emphasizes trust, repetition, and clear communication, creating an environment where players improve through structure rather than chaos. Woltemade thrives on that clarity. He studies video sessions meticulously, analyzing movements to refine timing and coordination with wingers like Anthony Gordon. Off the pitch, he has integrated seamlessly, taking English lessons seriously and enjoying the passion of the Geordie crowd. The bond with supporters grew stronger after a post-match interview in which he thanked them for making the North East feel like home. Such gestures reinforce the sense that Woltemade is not just performing but belonging, which matters deeply to Newcastle's culture and project. For the board, the investment already looks justified. Ticket sales, shirt numbers, and social media engagement have all spiked since his arrival. The marketing team point to Woltemade's blend of youth and humility as perfect for Newcastle's global image. Yet, inside the dressing room, status never outweighs substance. Senior players describe him as grounded, punctual, and eager to learn, qualities that earn instant respect. It's easy to forget how quickly opinions change in football, but his story is proof of how preparation meets opportunity. What looked extravagant in July now feels like foresight in November, a testament to Howe's faith and the club's growing confidence in its recruitment process guided by data and character. Matt Howes ended his comments by hoping Woltemade would stay at Newcastle long enough to become a Premier League star before taking the next step. That sentiment echoes among fans and analysts alike. William Ojala's story at Newcastle United has taken an unexpected and uplifting turn. Only a few months ago, speculation swirled that he might leave in January to seek regular minutes elsewhere. Now, the club have made a clear decision: his staying put. Eddie Howe and his staff believe the 22-year-old Dane still has much more to give, both this season and beyond. Reports from the Daily Mail's Craig Hope confirmed the stance, revealing that Newcastle see Ojala as part of their long-term project rather than a temporary squad option. For supporters, it's encouraging news, a sign that patience and faith remain key values at St James Park. Ojala joined Newcastle from Sheffield United in August 2024 with a reputation for raw potential. Born in Aarhus and developed through the English youth system, he blended Scandinavian strength with technical polish. His early months were difficult, adapting to higher intensity, learning Howe's tactical patterns, and waiting for chances behind experienced forwards. But whenever he played, he made things happen. 3 goals and 1 assist in just 299 minutes show a striker capable of influencing games despite limited time. His energy, pressing, and ability to find space have impressed coaches, even when appearances came from the bench. Gradually, he has turned curiosity into confidence among the fan base. The situation grew complicated when Newcastle added Nick Woltemade and Yoane Wissa during the summer window. Many assumed Ojala would be loaned out or sold, especially with European clubs such as Eintracht Frankfurt showing serious interest. Negotiations even advanced on deadline day before collapsing late. Since then, the young striker has worked quietly, determined to earn his place through training rather than complaints. Sources inside the club admire that attitude, noting how he arrives early, stays late, and studies match footage to improve movement. Those habits convinced Howe that keeping him through winter would be smarter than gambling on depth. After all, injuries and fixture congestion always test even the deepest squads. Eddie Howe values commitment, and Ojala embodies that principle. Though game time has been scarce, his mentality never dropped. Teammates often praise his professionalism, describing him as humble, focused, and eager to learn. That character counts heavily in a competitive dressing room where standards are high. The coaching staff see growth not only in technical execution but also in decision-making under pressure. He has become sharper at timing runs, calmer when receiving passes in tight spaces, and more assertive when pressing defenders. Each substitute appearance adds small but visible progress. For Howe, this is exactly how young players should develop, through patience, effort, and steady exposure rather than forced expectations. Frankfurt's interest hasn't vanished, of course. Scouts continue to attend matches and follow training updates, believing Ojala could thrive in the Bundesliga's open style. Yet Newcastle's hierarchy now view him as too valuable to lose mid-season. With Yoane Wissa still managing fitness concerns, selling another attacking option would risk imbalance. Moreover, Newcastle are fighting on four fronts: Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, and European competition, which demands full squad depth. Howe reportedly told the board that letting Ojala go would be short-sighted given his recent improvement. That reasoning convinced decision-makers to close the door firmly. The message to the player was simple: stay, compete, and your moment will come. This trust has inspired Ojala to raise his standards even further. He's been seen working closely with attacking coach Graham Jones on finishing drills, focusing on timing and composure. The extra hours are paying off. His movement off the shoulder of defenders looks cleaner, and his anticipation inside the box sharper. Even when not scoring, his pressing intensity helps Newcastle regain possession high up the pitch. Howe loves forwards who defend from the front, and Ojala's energy fits perfectly with that demand. Club insiders believe he could become a regular starter in cup competitions soon, giving him opportunities to showcase finishing instincts on bigger stages and build momentum naturally. Supporters appreciate his hunger. In recent matches, his brief cameos have drawn loud applause for effort alone. There's something magnetic about a young player chasing every ball with belief and purpose. The Geordie crowd value graft as much as glamour, and Ojala's determination resonates strongly with them. Online, fans have begun calling him the silent worker, admiring how he quietly builds confidence without seeking attention. That bond between player and crowd could prove crucial as the season progresses. Every minute on the pitch now feels like part of a larger audition, not only for Howe but for thousands who crave fresh energy and new heroes in black and white. Howe has spoken publicly about the importance of squad depth, hinting that Ojala's versatility may become essential later in the campaign. He can operate centrally or drift wide, offering tactical flexibility against various opponents. That adaptability impressed analysts, who note how seamlessly he adjusts to changes in formation during games. It also gives Newcastle options when managing fatigue among senior forwards. The coaching team view Ojala's hunger as contagious, pushing others to maintain intensity. His presence in training drives competition, which Howe insists is fundamental for progress. Keeping him, therefore, strengthens not just numbers but spirit, a reminder that development doesn't always follow straight lines in elite football. The broader message from Newcastle's decision is clear. The club intend to nurture talent rather than chase quick fixes. For years, fans complained about potential being sold too early. Now they see a new culture of belief. Ojala's case reflects that transformation. He represents patience, internal growth, and trust in coaching methods. In an era of constant transfers and restless speculation, Newcastle's stance feels refreshing. Rather than seeing fringe players as disposable, Howe views them as investments that mature with time and care. Newcastle United are once again looking to the future. This time, not on the pitch but in concrete and steel. The club are seriously considering expanding St. James Park rather than relocating entirely. The iconic stadium, perched on Barrack Road, has long been the heart of Geordie pride. Yet its current capacity limits both ticket revenue and matchday opportunities for the next generation of supporters. Internal feasibility studies show that the Gallowgate end could be redeveloped to hold over 60,000 fans. It wouldn't match the 70,000 capacity of a brand new stadium, but it would keep history intact while pushing income higher. That balance between heritage and growth now drives discussions at board level. Sources close to the project suggest the owners initially wanted to write one big check, to decide once, invest once, and move forward without revisiting the question. Brad Miller, the club's stadium director, stated back in summer 2024 that the Saudi ownership preferred to make a single major commitment rather than a short-term fix. However, with planning permissions, environmental approvals, and infrastructure challenges expected to delay any new site by up to 10 years, minds are beginning to shift. The logic is simple. Expansion now could pay for itself through ticket sales, hospitality, and community engagement before a larger move even becomes possible. Inside St. James Park, momentum for modernization is building. Training facilities, hospitality areas, and player amenities have already been upgraded since the takeover. Now, attention turns to giving supporters more access. Crowds of over 300,000 flooded the city when Newcastle paraded the Carabao Cup last March, underlining the vast fan base still waiting for seats. Economically, the potential is massive. More fans mean more merchandise, more local spending, and stronger ties with global sponsors. Strategically, expanding the Gallowgate end allows the club to scale gradually while avoiding debt or displacement. For many fans, that compromise feels right, ambitious, but rooted in respect for their home. The financial argument is equally persuasive. A redevelopment of the Gallowgate end would cost significantly less than building a new stadium from scratch, allowing funds to stay available for transfers and infrastructure elsewhere. Analysts inside the club estimate that even a modest increase of 8,000 seats could generate millions more each season. With European nights returning, demand for tickets already exceeds supply, and empty seats are virtually unheard of. In business terms, that's a rare and enviable problem. Newcastle's challenge now is timing, knowing when to commit before construction inflation pushes prices even higher. The decision, therefore, feels urgent yet measured, mixing excitement with realism. For the supporters, emotion outweighs economics. St. James Park isn't just a venue, it's a landmark, a symbol of belonging visible from almost every corner of the city. Many fans can't imagine the club anywhere else. Losing that sense of place would be painful, no matter how luxurious a new site might look. The Gallowgate end, in particular, holds memories of generations, goals, celebrations, and heartbreaks etched into every step. Preserving that connection while upgrading facilities could unite tradition and progress beautifully. The ownership recognizes this emotional weight, and internal sources say they want fans consulted before any final blueprint is approved. Engagement, they believe, ensures acceptance. Still, uncertainty lingers. Building upwards on a tight urban site poses logistical headaches. Surrounding roads, listed buildings, and limited construction space all complicate planning. There's also the question of disruption. Where would season ticket holders sit during redevelopment? The club's operations team are already mapping temporary solutions, potentially involving staggered building phases to minimize capacity loss. Brad Miller and his staff insist that any project would proceed only if feasible without damaging matchday experience. Engineers from global design firms have visited to assess structures and foundations, giving cautious optimism. The concept remains alive, but not yet locked in. Patience remains vital before hammers hit steel. Eddie Howe, while not directly involved in infrastructure matters, has often spoken about the atmosphere at St. James Park being a 12th man. He knows that every decibel counts. Expanding capacity could make that roar even louder, and psychologically, opponents already dread visiting. For house players, a bigger, closer Gallowgate end could turn tight games into wins through sheer energy. It's why many see stadium expansion as more than bricks. It's part of Newcastle's sporting identity. Success on the pitch feeds ambition off it, and vice versa. The new generation of fans deserves the chance to witness that intensity in person, not just on television or online streams. As deliberations continue, the board remain conscious of financial fair play limits. Large-scale spending on infrastructure still influences long-term budgets, especially under UEFA monitoring. Yet Newcastle's revenue growth gives them breathing space. Last season's accounts showed record turnover and improved profitability, even before extra Champions League income. Commercial partnerships, global fan engagement, and strategic branding have all raised cash flow. That success strengthens the argument for reinvestment at home. By improving matchday capacity, Newcastle can sustain top-tier competitiveness without breaching fiscal controls. The owners reportedly see this as a generational project, shaping both legacy and long-term self-sufficiency under evolving rules. Public reaction to rumors of expansion has been overwhelmingly positive. Fan groups on social media and local forums describe the idea as long overdue. Some suggest a staged redevelopment that adds capacity over several summers rather than one massive overhaul. Others advocate for technological improvements, better accessibility, updated sound systems, and energy-efficient facilities. Whatever the final plan, enthusiasm is clear. What a fascinating week for Newcastle United fans. From the club's firm stance on Sven Botman's contract to Nick Woltermade's soaring £100 million valuation, the Magpies are showing ambition everywhere. Add to that the decision to keep William Ojala beyond January and the promising Gallowgate End expansion plans, and it's clear that the black and white future looks brighter than ever. Every piece of news reflects growth, belief, and confidence under Eddie Howe's steady leadership at St. James Park. So, what do you think, Geordies? Should Newcastle offer Sven Botman a big new deal to secure his loyalty? Has Nick Woltermade truly proven his worth 9 figures already? Was keeping William Ojala the right move for squad depth this winter? And finally, should the board expand St. James Park instead of moving elsewhere? Let us know your thoughts. Your voice is what keeps this club alive, passionate, and powerful. You, the fans, remain the beating heart of everything Newcastle stands for. Through highs and lows, you fill the stands, fuel the noise, and carry the pride of Tyneside to every corner of the world. Stay strong, stay united, and keep believing in what's being built under Eddie Howe's guidance. The journey is only just beginning. Wait, before you go, check out this breaking video from Newcastle.